What's up, guys? Welcome to the SoundCentric podcast. I'm Samuel Sarfo.
I'm Adam Dash.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We have a really great conversation for you guys about independent creators and if it's really a road to travel and if everyone's really built for it. So make sure you stay tuned to the very end. If you haven't done so already, make sure to like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out our website, SoundCentricMusic.com. We have a lot of great content and articles on there. But let's not waste no time and let's get to it.
Yes,
Adam,
sir.
fam. And what is your playlist title and what is your leading single? Bring it to
Sam
me.
can't stop roasting me about it, but I'm going through my Jay-Z discovery. This morning I was listening to Kingdom Come, which I have discovered per Sam is not a well-received album. I did not know that. But I was listening to Show Me What You Got. So that's going to be the song that highlights this playlist. I low-key like the Lil Wayne version better. I think Jay-Z did too, because according to Hove, he had to look himself in the mirror and say, do I still got it? And according to Sam, he did not have it after that album. And, we're trying to prove ourselves right now with this whole podcast game and getting them TikTok views up. So show me what you got, That's how we're feeling. How about you?
You got a title? You didn't come up with the title.
No, show me what you got is the title.
Yeah. I got you. Okay, and also just backtracking off that, again, Kingdom Come, he dropped it after he retired, and everyone shitted on it, essentially. It was just horribly received, just like Relapse. But the thing is, Relapse was actually good, and over time, it became a cult classic. Kingdom Come was awful.
What was after Kingdom Come? Death of Autotune?
But guess what? It was American Gangster. This was in 2008. So he dropped Kingdom Come in 2006. 2008, he came back with American Gangster, which is...
Was that
I completely forgot about that album. It was incredible. If you haven't heard it yet,
okay.
it's arguably top 4J.
Okay, that's so that one, okay.
That's how incredible it is. If it wasn't for that album, Jay-Z's career would have been put into question because after that, he dropped Blueprint 3, which is no different from Recovery, which is better, but Blueprint 3 has the New York and all those pop songs and stuff, Death of Autotune, etc. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to bump American Gangster.
You'll love it, man. That's an album where it's okay.
Good beats on there?
This is Jay-Z. Good beats. Trust me, you're in for a treat.
I'm ready. All right, so what's your playlist name?
My playlist title is Back from the Future, and the leading single is Wheels of Steel. First off, quick shout out to Outkast. AT Aliens is one of my favorite rap projects and albums of all time. Again, back then, like Adam was saying, a lot of the stuff was really boom bap orientated, but the South came up with something fresh and completely experimental.
The South got something to say.
The South got something to say. And the title is called Back to the Future because from our last conversation, Adam got me really thinking. Basically, sometimes we really don't give flowers to the new generation. We all get stuck in the past. When we listen to music, it starts up from our youth and eventually we fall in love with that music. But when time passes, we kind of ignore the current trends and the current music, movies, entertainment, whatever, and just stick to what we liked when we were younger. That means we're stuck in the past. And sometimes we need to get back to the future bars and, focus around on what's going on. And I just want to give my flowers, like what you were saying before with Griselda. If they made an album possibly before in the 90s, maybe that could have been a classic. And maybe these rappers are finding it difficult to make a classic because of oversaturation, because it's already been done. But that doesn't mean that the people in the 90s weren't doing it better, because they were doing it better.
Yeah, of course, there's amazing albums. I'm just glad you're coming around a little bit to the point. I think it's there's certain albums, like say To Pimp a Butterfly, maybe they should be put in the category of ultra classic, because I think there's some albums that right from the get-go, I think everyone recognizes as a classic. So maybe good. I forget the reception of Good Kid, Mad City. I was 12 years old. Yeah. I think it was instantly hailed a really good album.
It was, yeah.
But for some reason, certain albums, like maybe a 2014 Forest Hill Drive, it's taken looking at all the little J. Cole's out there to be like, okay, I think this one is probably a classic and it's his best album.
Yeah.
And an album like Daytona or Bandana. I'm trying to think, what are some more, maybe we'll look back soon and say one of those Mac Miller albums was a classic. See more rappers starting to rap in that Swimming type of vibe. I'm like, maybe Swimming was a classic album.
That's the one thing I think I might disagree with you, because again, that word classic is a very powerful word. I don't think I can just give it to everyone. And the biggest thing that a classic has to have, and of course there's a lot of factors, but a classic needs to be impactful. And that's really tough, because if you're a lower tier artist, an independent artist, just a raw artist who's underground, it's very hard for you to have an impactful album that affects everyone, but that is a factor. So when you said, like, for example, you said Bandana was a classic. Bandana is an incredible album. It really checks off the box for me in all the classic categories except for impact. I know you were saying before, well, it impacted me. Yeah, but did it impact the whole entire culture? You know what I mean? Like To Pimp a Butterfly, it was impactful. It was using like movements and stuff like that, you know, with All Right. So I just think that's the exception it has to have. And I don't think we've had an impactful album. And last time I can think of one was 2017 when we had Lemonade, Damn, 444. Like that was a peak year. And I think we haven't met that yet.
I'm trying to think of other albums in the last 10 years that people would call classics. Most people would say Daytona is a classic.
Fair.
Trying to think what else. I mean, I don't think people are saying like Care for Me by Saba is a classic. I'm just trying to think of well-regarded
it's just Freddie
albums.
and Pusha who are pushing the boundaries. I don't think they have classics, but
which is surprising since since their albums are like boom bap classic. They're not pushing the sound classics compared to maybe what a Kendrick Lamar would do. Trying to think off the top of my head. Like none of these
not
Drake
even boom bap. It's also trap albums that aren't getting classics. Remember, we had Rodeo, DS2, etc.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not as big a fan of trap music, so I don't know. There's so many albums in that lane that there's like future albums that I don't know if I would call it classic. Like DS2, I think everyone calls it classic album.
Yep, classic. Yep. Without Warning.
I think Astroworld is a classic album.
It should have been, but it's not.
To bottom, it is so good. It inspires so much of the current rap right now. Every single song's a banger. I think Astroworld's probably a classic.
This is the problem, though. Majority of people will tell you Rodeo's better than Astroworld. Not to mention, sometimes you can always debate back and forth. But there's a high amount of people will tell you point blank, Rodeo is very clear. And also Astroworld was long. It had some filler, but again, classics cannot filler. I won't bash that off. But I just think Astroworld was more impactful than Rodeo. But at the same time, I just don't think Astroworld in quality.
It was just a moment. It was a huge moment in time. The Astroworld festival, like it was just everything about it. And he actually stuck to a concept which we don't see that much often. Great rollout. It's a good album. I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
I'm going to say this. Astroworld should have been a classic. Hear me clearly. I said it should have been. Because like you said, it was humongous. It sold like 525,000 first week. It was incredible. The only problem was it lacked critical acclaim. Like, it didn't win anything. I felt so bad for Travis when he didn't win a Grammy. Just so many awards. He didn't win anything. So, That
was a hard year at the Grammys. That was Daytona, Swimming, Invasion of Privacy, which ended up winning.
But it should have been Astro. Again, yes, Astro.
It shouldn't have been Astro. It should have been Push.
Dude, Daytona and Astro are both good, but which one had the most impact?
Well, we just said one's a classic, and we said the other one's not a classic. So I think it's the Push one.
Should have. Oh, I don't think neither. I don't think neither of them should be classics.
And low key, I mean, Astroworld's not even the best album that dropped the night it released.
Oh, Max Swimming.
Yeah.
I will not forget. I listened to that album first.
That's my biasness.
I was working at JCPenney at that time. Once it was my break time. Swimming? Astros? Come on now. Swimming. Shout out to my boy.
It was
Mac.
Hard. Shout out Mac. What an album.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. But, let us know what you guys think about the classics. Let us know if you think Daytona is a classic, because I don't. Maybe I'm on the edge, but I kind of don't. But to our conversation about independent creatives, and when I say creatives, I mean of all aspects, from digital designers to musicians to film directors, all that stuff. Essentially, there was a tweet from an independent artist, right? And in this tweet, he's basically saying that he was taking a break from music, basically because he wasn't feeling passionate about it anymore. He was losing his sense of way. And the biggest thing, too, was he wasn't having fun. And I think that's such a big thing, especially as an independent artist. It is a road less traveled, but not so much anymore because everyone is doing it. And I remember Mitch Mula saying something that was so profound to me, but so simple and true. People claim to be independent artists, but they don't do it by choice. They do it because they have to, because no label or anybody wants you. And because technology has improved now, we have the ability to make music literally in our rooms. We don't need a label to give us a studio. So now everyone can do it. And now that makes that oversaturated. And because of that, not everyone can get that high quality sound. Not everyone's going to make it. Basically going independent is slim to none. It really is. And I feel like the passion will eventually fizzle out unless you truly love what you're doing and you're not looking for external reward. But that's the whole conundrum. Adam, what do you think, man?
I mean, I love that point by Mitch Mula. It's also a hilarious point.
Yeah.
Everyone feels like they're Chance the Rapper. Yeah. Like putting on that independent hat. Like, nah, bro, you're doing that because there's no labels calling your name. I think at the end of the day, you just can't make music to get fame. You have to purely do it for fun. And if it works out, it works out. I think that kind of has to be the mindset because as someone who makes music, get uninspired all the time, trying to make music that my friends will listen to. But me and my friends don't listen to the same music. It's not, I don't want to make music that's played at parties. I make like jazzier J. Cole style type music. And once it stops being fun, you start getting like angry at yourself, and it's just not it. And I think, I don't know how to phrase this. People are just like, too focused on these artists who have done it before. And it was different. Like a lot of these artists we listen to now got so popular in the beginning of the internet age and blog era age. People like Mac Miller, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Logic, A$AP Rocky, Action Bro. Like all these people got so big on Dat Piff, and maybe there needs to be like a new storm of something that happens that changes the game, that because it's just so much oversaturation of music. And at the end of the day, you gotta make the music you like, or it's not fun whatsoever.
And I think that new wave is getting towards short content in terms of TikTok and like the metaverse, which we'll get to a little bit later. But the biggest thing I want to emphasize is what you said, basically about if you want to be famous, if your whole goal is to be famous, you can't be an independent artist. I think that's just the hard truth.
Yeah.
It's going to be famous.
It's going to affect your mental health so hard if you're only looking for fame or even a specific number or result. I think, and we even had this someone talk about our podcast. If one person listens to this podcast, that's one person who took time out of their day to listen. So you kind of have to have the same mindset in your music. They could have listened to J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar, and one person chose to listen to you. That's enough.
Yeah. Because if you want to be famous, you need a label. You have to, if you want to be a quote unquote superstar. But if you just want to focus and enjoy, I guess, the journey and really grow as a person and as an artist, you can take that independent route. But don't expect people to jump on board all of a sudden, because if you keep those expectations high, you will be you'll be disappointed. And I couldn't imagine, again, spending all your time, effort, money, and it just doesn't go right. I remember there's a story of his name is Jared Brady. He's a big person I look up to, and he's spent so much money on everything and trying to get his specific artwork out there. He dropped a recent album. This was a little bit not recent, but in 2017 he dropped a big album for himself. I forget the title. I'm choking, but it was an incredible album nonetheless. And it didn't do the sales numbers he was looking for, and that really deteriorated him, really ate at him. And it's like, you should just try to enjoy the journey. I know it's kind of hard to say like, oh, I'm not going to worry about the numbers or see who's going to look at it, because if no one's looking at it, that's the point of making it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard. I don't know.
I just had a point in my head and I totally blanked out about it.
Yeah.
Damn, let me think. There's just so many artists out there, and it's so hard to compare yourself to other people, because I do it constantly. Sometimes I don't even like going on Twitter because I don't want to see other artists doing stuff that like I wish I was getting up and doing. And I just think at the end of the day, it just has to be something you enjoy. It's so much more fun making music that like I listen to and I walk around and I'm like, oh, this is something I would want to listen to, than making maybe a popular song that can be played at a bar or the club or a fraternity party.
Yeah.
And no, go on.
And I was going to say, here's another thing too. The question of whether you should really dive at it full time or maybe get a second job, because I know a lot of people and a lot of great stories. For example, Kali Uchis, her story is incredible. You know, she was kicked out of her house at 17. And when she was kicked out of her house at 17, that was because she was skipping classes and focusing on music to the point that she was homeless. She would go to school and come back to sleep in her car to focus on music. But she continued to pursue her dreams, and eventually she dropped a mixtape, and that mixtape was heard by Tyler, the Creator, who eventually put her on Cherry Bomb and that big song, See You Again, correct? Right? Was it See You Again? Yeah. So,
See You Again. Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, I've heard stories of people saying I'm jumping the gun and moving to LA or New York. But that's a problem because you only hear the success stories, but you don't hear the millions of failures. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember what I was going to say, that there's so many cautionary tales out there of artists who are famous right now telling us the most fun they ever had making music was when they were making music with no expectations in their bedroom.
Yep.
And it's like, how many artists do we have to hear say this until we keep following the same path, getting to a certain point, and then crying about it, how the label won't let you make the music you want to make. And you know what I mean? There's so many cautionary tales about it. These artists say the best time they ever had making music was when they were making it for fun in their bedrooms. And in response to that Cali story, like, there's a lot of stories that don't end that same way. And it's really a case-by-case scenario. And she's just so good at music. I guess part of it's just like having a self-awareness of your skill level. And Yeah, like there's sometimes I rap on a Freddie Gibbs type beat, and I know my voice is not meant for these hard hitting beats. I'm just trying to get some bars off and do it.
Yeah.
I know my voice is meant for a soft type instrumental, but sometimes, sometimes you want to spaz out and make the songs you want to make, and maybe it's just to show a couple friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to release it. But I think it's really case by case if you want to go at it full time. I know Chris Patrick, he was working at Best Buy for a while, and you got to really gain your following. I think you definitely have to have a second profession while you do it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. There's no reason to ever look down upon that and feel like, oh, I'm not giving it my all 100% of the day in the studio. I'm not even sure it's healthy to spend that much time in a studio making music. I think you have to have other life experiences to discuss. Part of that's working a job.
Yeah. But what makes that so difficult is the fact that when you think about athletes, right, and I see LeBron or whoever, Steph Curry, and he's like, I've spent hours and hours and hours, Kobe in the gym shooting. They are putting 100% of their time at one thing in order to be good. But as soon as you get that second job or whatever, which some people have to, we understand, again, some people have families, children, whatever, you split your time and you can devote all that time into your craft. And if that's the case in a competitive environment, you're slacking. Not just slacking because you're working hard, but you're tailing behind. And that's going to affect, again, your craft and your skills. And that's what the situation comes to. So it's either you go at full time, 100%, you give it your all in order to improve, or you have to go on a slow journey where you may maybe be able to split it half and half. I mean, that's kind of my idea, at least with almost like SoundCentric, this isn't a full-time thing I'm doing. I'm also a student. I'm hoping to go to graduate school for medicine. That's like my profession wise, but in terms of my business world and what I'm passionate about, which is music and SoundCentric, I'm going to use that to leverage that. And I know that's a long-term thing. It's a long-term game. It's not going to blow up in 2 seconds, but I guess for my scenario, my situation, that's the road that I would have to take,
Yeah. And I was watching a documentary or like a mini documentary about J. Cole. And I'm sure a lot of people who listen to this have heard it before about how he'd wake up every morning, he'd write 3 full pages of raps, which definitely that definitely helps him get his skill up. On the other hand, J. Cole also has the best rap voice of all time. So like I don't even know what would have happened if he didn't do that. He might be just as famous. Like who knows? Because I think he really like his voice is just perfect. I think everyone was going to like his rap music. But I think it's just having that understanding, that self-awareness about yourself, and just doing what makes you happy. If this starts becoming a job to you, or it starts affecting your mental health, take a step away, just like our guy Oldie is deciding to do, and come back when it starts being fun again. Yeah,
I think it's also just a matter of accepting the fact that you might not be big and being okay with that. Because if you're not going to be okay with that, it's going to eat you up. It's going to eat you up inside.
That's what our guy Marlon Craft recently posted about. He was saying how fans keep hitting him up and telling him, why aren't you big yet? Why aren't you big? And I think he knows he could get big kind of easily because he already has a huge fan base for someone who's completely independent. And he can make a certain style of music that could get bigger and he could sign to a label. And he's deciding to go out himself. He has no manager. So it's like he has I'm sure he has some sort of team around him. And he posted a whole thank you to all of his fans because it's crazy how well he does and how well he is received. And me and you know why? It's because he's fucking good at music. He is really good at this rap shit. And he also has a really good rap voice. But yeah, it's interesting to see someone go about it with no team. And I know you have some thoughts about Russ's career and how he taught himself all these different things, which is also another smart move to save money.
Yeah. And for Marlon, again, if you're not heard of Marlon Craft, he is, I have no words to talk about this.
Bro, he's so good.
So incredible. I'm telling you right now, he's one of the best up and coming MCs. I'm talking about like the Denzels, the GIDs. Marlon is right there. It's just that he's an independent artist and he doesn't have that backing from a label or a huge collective unit like Dreamville or whoever, But
I think bar for bar, bro, I think he's better than most of these people out here.
You know it. And Marlon, if you I want to share this with Marlon on Twitter. He's got it. We love you, Marlon. Seriously. We've been listening to you for a while. But the thing with Marlon that surprised me was he said he had no team, no manager, no nothing. He's doing this strictly by himself, which shows how far we've came in terms of how far we've come in terms of just technology and advancing. But to do that all by yourself is insane. And the fact that he's kind of accepting the fact that I may not be big and that's okay. Because the thing is, if you don't have a team, if you don't have a manager, I don't think you can make it. I really don't think you can make it. And in terms of Russ, right? Russ is the golden boy story. I love Russ. He is iconic for what he's done in the independent scene. he really was DIY. He's a DIY pioneer. I'm a DIY pioneer. I can size you up. And it was just him and Bugis starting it up. He learned how to produce, engineer, and songwrite all by himself, which isn't a thing I think everyone is built for, because not only does it take a lot of effort, but it can really just be, you have to master 3 things at once, which isn't reasonable. But for him, he had to. He had no choice. It was life or death for him. He dropped out of college and he went for it, and it happened. But you don't know how many people have done that and have failed. I'm not saying don't go after your dreams and try that, but it's just, I don't know. And he was smart too, because after his promotion, he was able to get a manager. He caught a manager. After the manager, he got an agent to book him at certain places. And then eventually that led him to Sound of Columbia for a little bit to pump up his album. Russ is this big, obviously has a fan base, but he pushed it out there when he signed with Columbia. It's making these moves and not just staying independent, which is the big thing, you know?
Yeah, there's only so many artists that we've seen actually have superstar. Probably just Chance the Rapper. It's probably just him. It's really hard out here. There's people like Saba. I'm not even sure if Saba's fully independent still. And he's someone who's gotten decently big off this. But yeah, imagine how huge he could be. But once again, not everyone, it doesn't seem like everyone's happy being that. Once they get to that huge stage, they're like, I miss the days when I was performing for 2,000 people who actually liked my music for the message.
Yeah.
And not just like clout.
And the fact of the matter is, you got to eat. You know what I mean? You gotta make bread. You gotta make money, and especially if you want to make money for your craft that you're putting in so much effort into, you need money, and that's where the label comes in. So I got a question for you. Hypothetically, if your music goes up, you blow, whatever, will you stay independent or will you sign to a label?
Show me where to sign. No, it would. I actually saw someone DJ Booth, for any independent artist following us. Definitely follow DJ Booth, because they have great series about how to navigate as an independent artist. And I saw how they were saying that certain record labels will provide a lawyer to artists who are signing, and they were saying, do not use the record label as lawyer. Like at the end of the day, they're gonna
work for them.
Like at the end of the day, they're representing the label. They're not saying that every lawyer for the label is trying to like screw you over, but just understand that they work for the record label. So definitely look into getting your own lawyer. If you're asking me would I sign a 360 deal, probably not. I think we've learned from those moments in like the Lil Yachty Joe Budden history. But yeah, if it works out, it would be so specific, case by case, like what the deal is, and who knows where my music would. I don't even know what it would be at that point. That I had a big song and they were looking into signing me. If it was because like a song went off on TikTok, it might be a different story than if I had a whole album culturally go off.
Yeah, for me, in my case, I definitely would take it. I'm not going to cap, because that allows me time, energy, and space. Allows me to focus on the music and obviously be aware of the business aspect, but have a backing behind me that's doing the work for me. Because if you're independent, you have to be the businessman. Not only are you an artist, you are a businessman or woman. It's just what it is. And some things I don't want to get into. I want my lawyer to figure out what the percentage is and royalties and stuff. I don't want to have to deal with that. So that's a big thing, you know?
And I think it depends on the label. For example, so hypothetically, say Dreamville calls me up. They want to sign me. I'm like, oh my God, the GOAT, J. Cole wants to sign me. J. Cole is probably someone who can sympathize with the fact of his whole workout thing, where he lost his passion because they were trying to make him make a hit song, and he didn't. He lets his hero down. And then J. Cole tells the label, oh, wait, I'm dropping an album with no singles and no features. And they're like, I don't know. And then it works out. And I'm sure if anyone in the Dreamville label wanted to go about that like J. Cole did, he'd have to say yes. He'd be a hypocrite if he was like, nope, Loot, I'm sorry, Kaz, we need the hit song. So like in that case, like J. Cole seems like the most awesome label boss. But if I'm signed to like a popular label, and like, we need a hit, I'm like, I don't know how to make a hit. It's a way different strat. They're like, you cannot put this album out until there's a hit song, and then you're 5 years into trying to find it, and you're like, this fucking sucks. I miss making music over J. Cole type beats in my room. Yeah.
The thing about signing to a label where there's already a popular rapper like Dreamville, like Shady, I would stay away from that completely. Because in my mind, if you sign to those record labels, you're going to be second tier by default.
Yeah, it's hard.
Everyone's going to look at the number one guy and you're not going to break through. So I feel like I have to sign to my own, of course, with correct, with a lawyer, with correct, specific details and stuff that correlate with where I'm moving at. But that matters to me. That matters to me. And another thing is, do you think you have to live in LA or New York in order to be in that position? I know J. Cole, he moved to New York immediately.
Not anymore. So, I bet it definitely helps. being in LA and New York, and because like then you're able to actually go to the studio with artists and be collaborating. But this day and age, I don't think it's necessary.
You know? Okay.
Do you? I think there's just so much stuff online. Like you can figure it out.
But it's scary because I feel like it's oversaturated. You know what I mean? You know how many TikToks are there?
Definitely.
People just standing in front of the camera and rapping or singing to me.
Yeah.
Not hating and not saying don't do that because that's how you have to promote yourself. But it's just like it gets oversaturated and you won't stand out. You need to be able to come with a new and fresh way to stand out. And I guess that can kind of transform to this TikTok convo.
The best way, I guess, is starting to become like a little bit of get a cult following in your city and then expand from there.
Yep.
So like, for example, you can just like start going to Columbus open mic events and starting to become a name in Columbus and then grow from there. That's probably the best way to go about it. But I don't it's so hard to climb the New York City ladder. Yeah. Like J. Cole just happened to be so fucking dope. Stood outside Jay-Z's office, gave him, and Jay-Z was like, I'm not listening to this.
That shit was so lucky. Like people forget that luck is a huge factor into this, into blowing up.
But that didn't even work for J. Cole. I don't think Jay-Z listened to him. And then someone gave Jay-Z a disc and was like, listen to this. And then like J. Cole was like, yeah, that was my music that I stood outside waiting for you. Like
you said no.
And you said no. So yeah, it's a lot of it's really lucky. Yeah. And sometimes it's like for the Saba Chance Rapper, like that, those were kids who grew up together, and Vic Mensa, Metal Squad, people who grew up together in Chicago, made music together, and some of them fell off. There's people who were on those albums that we don't listen to as much anymore. Someone like No Name seems to have quit rapping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And some of those guys aren't around anymore. There's people who are signed to Saba's like collective. I'm not sure how that works exactly. Yeah. But they're not that well known. I'm not sure what they do for a living full time.
Yeah, sometimes I question that, but I think that just goes to show that even if you made it, you haven't really made it. And people tend to forget that these artists are human beings. I mean, I was listening to Logic did a review of Fantano's review, if you go
watch that video,
which was funny, right? And one thing he said, which really struck me, was Chance was the most beloved child in hip hop. He dropped 10 Days to Acid Rap to Coloring Book. He was on top of the world.
He was on top.
He sacrificed so much in the independent sector. He drops one fumble, just one fumble, and everyone turns on him, hates him, shits on him. That's the end of his career, just off the back of that. So it kind of just tells you that you can't even rely on your fans. And I know that's almost hurtful to say because your fans boost you up, but it's like, at the end of the day, the core is you need to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey and love what you're doing and surround yourself with good people. The fans aren't going to take you, the money ain't going to take you, and the streams and the numbers ain't going to take you nowhere. The pressure won't hit. You see these celebrities out here.
Yeah, and that story is so specific because maybe Chance needed less yes men around him. Like his manager tried telling him, "Hey, don't drop the album," and he fired his manager.
Is this actually a true story? Is that actually what happened?
Yeah. Chance tweeted like, "I'm dropping the album in June."
Oh my god!
I don't know when the tweet was, but like he's like, "I'm dropping the album in June," and his manager was like, "You haven't started the album yet. Like you're boxing yourself in. Like don't put a date out." And he ended up firing his manager after the success like didn't happen with the big day, and it's disappointing. I think Chance will bounce back though. He dropped some good singles. It just sucks. He was the biggest. He was like one of those top 4 artists. Like he was like
it's crazy,
the Travis Scott's about like just about to go over. And Travis also has done this hiatus and had his own things that have happened that have stopped him from being in that top category.
And I definitely think in this generation, and we're going to get into this, I don't think you can have a long hiatus as you used to before. Like, for example, Eminem dropped 2004, dropped in 2009, so 5 years. Bruno Mars did like a 5-year thing. But I don't think that's possible anymore. Kendrick, I think, was the last artist, along with Frank Ocean, to be doing this. But as music gets shorter, as albums get shorter, now albums are almost they still exist, obviously, duh. But it's like a non-favorable thing. It's all about singles now. So can you really drop something, disappear, and come back while us generation have billions of different avenues to go through and accept that dopamine and ignore all your interactions? Because we can easily ignore you and not push you later on. Yeah.
It's so depending on the artist, and you have to live up to it. Because if you drop that album after 5 years and it doesn't work, it sucks. Someone like Kendrick Lamar has just done it time after time. Frank Ocean is just so skilled, I guess, that we all just wait around for him. Bruno Mars, so skilled, we all just wait around for him. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to do that. And singles are so interesting. Like A$AP Rocky dropped a single for his album. It's a good song. It was way too slow. And I now have like no interest. Like I've lost interest.
That's crazy. I'm so excited. He's one of the artists I'm truly excited to hear from.
Like I love him. I don't know who let him drop that as the single.
But I feel like he has enough creative control. He's like, I personally want to do this. It's meaningful to me.
So it kind of shows like I'm sure he'll do well once it drops. I'm sure it'll be a great album. Yeah, so I guess that's an example of someone not trying to get like heavy streams. Sorry, I'm dying.
No, you're good. I saw you're all good. It's allergy season, bro. He just sneezed. If you couldn't hear, he muted himself. But it's all good. But yeah, man, it's crazy because people are pushing singles now. The label are pushing singles, and because of TikTok and how things are working, and also the only way to blow up, I feel like, is singles. You know, I heard, I think it was Andrew Kelly who was like, I don't think I might drop albums as much anymore. I might just drop singles because if you drop a whole project, no one's really gonna sit down and listen.
Yeah.
But if you drop a single and it's starting to get buzz, people will give it a listen, a 3-minute, 2-minute listen. Yeah.
I think that just can't speak. That just has to go with like your creative direction. Like if you're making music to just, which most people are, is trying to gain a little bit more of a following, you have to do singles. For example, for me, I'm just really excited to drop an album just because I just want to drop an album artistically.
Yeah.
And I can
that's amazing.
I can deal with getting singles and getting bigger after that. I just taken such a break for myself that I want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends on the person and like the goal with it.
Do you like the way we're moving towards how shorter songs, shorter albums, right? The albums used to be longer. Now it's like 10, 12, and, you know.
I'm not mad at it, depending. Yeah, dude, long albums are hard. Even like when I listen to classic albums, like over an hour is just really difficult. Yeah. And even like throwing a random song, We Major, with like Kanye and Nas, it's like a 7-minute song.
Oh, but 7 minutes, perfect.
Yeah, it's
11
amazing.
out of 10.
I love the song, but I don't know, songs are hard to listen to when there's 3 verses. Even songs I love now, it's hard to get through.
Yeah. So you think it's a good thing? You think it's a good thing?
There's a good and bad side to it. I definitely think more concise albums force artists to make the best music and pick the best music, less filler. But yeah, like 1-minute songs are also not enough time to get out a full thought. Depending what the goal is of the song.
Yeah, so, I'm just scared because I feel like albums and artistic creativity is obviously we still have it if it's in you, but in terms of putting it out into the world, into the mainstream, it's almost something that we're not appreciating anymore. We only care about singles. Everyone just wants to hear a singles now. Because if you have a single, you can put it on a playlist, and everyone has their own playlist. So it's hectic. But I'm gonna ask you one more thing, and we're gonna end this here. There's another thing with Morgan Gould, how she got into a debate about performing because of streaming, and now everyone can just make music in their room. Technically, you don't have to be a good performer. You don't have to go up there and battle rap and prove to people that you can actually be on the mic and spit or be on the mic and sing. You can really just stay in your room, hide in your room, and not have to be a good performer. What do you think about that? Or do you think you have to? I
think you have to be a good performer because at some point you will have to go on a stage, at least until the metaverse happens. I don't know what that will be. But for now, you have to go on the stage and impress people. And I've seen bad shows, and I've taken notes on what good shows are. And I think one thing, I was thinking about this today on my walk. If you're a young artist making music and you don't have a fan base, realistically, no one above like 25 is probably listening to your music. So my thought process is, we all know that we all listen to music that we liked when we were younger. That's what we tend to do. So the most likely age group of people who will try listening to your new music is probably younger kids.
That's facts.
So like being able to go on college tours and college shows and building a fan base at colleges is really important. And in order to do that, you have to be a good performer. Yeah. And you have to be someone that they enjoy hearing talk to.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, that was a gem right there. Logic did the same thing. He went to University of Maryland, did the exact same thing. If you know, you know. Hey, man, Adam's going big places. I'm excited for you, bro. I'm really excited where you end up with the music business. But let us know what you guys think about the whole independent process. You know, is it oversaturated? Do you think everyone is built for it? Just let us know. But I think that's all we have. You got anything to say, Adam?
Hey, just take these gems. I'm free of charge. Take them out, write them down.
Yes, sir. You know what it is. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we appreciate y'all. We'll see ya. Peace.
We out.